Hello, hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Whitefish, Montana. And hello, it's June Olson with Junebug. All right, I figured out how to be able to look for the Facebook comments, but then I have to mute myself. It's kind of weird to see myself after myself over here, but it is what it is. We've got some crazy things going on. Let me see what's going on over here. My colors look off. Do I look kind of sickly to you? Because it looked pretty sickly to me. All right, there we go. Let's get some color. All right, so, and let's make sure we're not going to make anyone ill. Oh, here we go. All right, let's see. Oh, we don't want you to see that. Here we go. All right. There we go. We got it. Yay. Technology. Is it amazing or what? Oh my goodness. All right. So hello, hello. Today is Saturday. Today we're going to talk about punches, and we're going to use a couple punches to make a simple fun fold card. So let's go ahead and get started. I got sound. I got everything. I think we're good. Looks like everything's up and running. Let me check over here. Yep, everything's good. So we should be good. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we have, whoa, what happened here? Now you can see my big old mess. I don't know what happened. All right, so careful. I'm about to make you go. Oh, no. What happened here? All right, hang on, folks. Let's see what's going on. But you can see the big mess that I'm dealing with and that I need to. Don't see you in the live. I see me in the live. All right, hang on. Let me get this sorted out because this is a big old mess. I don't know. Technology, oh my gosh, what is going on? Here we go. I don't know why I had that all fixed and set up for you. Apply, take off the wobble. All right, here we go. I don't know what happened, my apologies. So amazing, terrifying. Don't see you live in the Mayday group. Well, I'm on the live in the Mayday group. You might need to refresh, Missy, because I'm live and I see it and it says there's 2 people. Oh, there you are. All right, you found me. Good thing. All right. That's okay, because it turned out that it was a crazy mess. All my settings just reset back. So we're back. Here we go. Woo! You got to see my messy counter. This is what I have to work with, or work on cleaning up here in the next day or two. I can't do my videos when it's like that. I can't, yeah, it's to the point where I can't function anymore. I've got to get this figured out. So here's the terrific Toadstools. Here's the punch. All right, so you open it like this. Now I am going to say, and I do apologize, this punch is currently not available. However, before you get upset about me showing you something that you can't get, we now have this system where you can go into where the punch is or where the bundle is, because you want to get them as a bundle, because when you buy them together as a bundle, whether it's dies and stamp set or punch and stamp set, you get 10% off. So you definitely want to get them as the bundle and get that 10% off. So what you would do is you would go into the bundle and then you would click on the button or on the little check mark where it says to notify you when it's back in stock, because this is currently out of stock. So you can't get the bundle and you can't get just the punch. You could get just the stamp set if you were so inclined. That would totally be up to you. But if you want the bundle, they will send you an email when it is back in stock. So that's awesome that they were doing that, because I would have customers say, hey, can you let me know if this is back in stock and this is back in stock? And oh my gosh, I had a hard time keeping track of all that. So now Stampin' Up! Is doing that for me, and an email will be sent to you when it's available. So it's coming back. You will be able to get this with the 10% discount. You just have to check that little box in the store to do so. So when you go into the store, you set up an account and then with your email, and it will tell you when it's back in stock. So I am using it today because it is coming back. So this is the punch. This is how you open it. We'll slide paper in here. And then these are the stamps, and they are photopolymer. I've already taken a bunch of stamps off to use. They are photopolymer, and it's a really cute stamp set. Popping up to say hi, you are magical, just a little thank you. And I love this fun font. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our stamping, and then we'll put everything together. So when you have these kinds of punches where they're lined up and you don't want to waste a lot of paper, what I do is I stick a piece in here like this, and I just pop it out, and that way I know when I'm stamping, I know where to stamp them. Now, one thing I want to point out is this one is a little bit bigger than the hole. So when you do that, you have to press hard. We'll see if that works. This is what I usually do, but of course, they've changed it up. We're going to go with some different sort of mushroom colors today. We're going to go with boho blue, which is an outgoing color. I forgot to check if it is available. I don't think the stamp set is available anymore, so I apologize. You can use any colors with this, but it happens to go with the paper that I chose, and I'll show you that. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Yep, that worked. All right, so we're going with that one, and then we're going to go with a pecan pie mushroom. All right, here we go. And so then that one's going to go right here. All right. So you can do mushrooms in all different colors. I mean, if you go on Pinterest, the mushrooms are every color you could possibly imagine. All right, and now you only can punch out these three things. However, there are other things, and we will have to fussy cut those. So here's this stem. All right. And you want to just push it in so that it covers there. And that way, when you stamp, or when you punch, sorry, when you punch, it will fit nicely in here like this. All right. Just like that. All right, and then we also want another stem, so we're going to do that in the crumb cake as well, but we're going to have to fussy cut this one. All right, and I think that's it for now. So fussy cut, what does fussy cut mean? Fussy cut means you get to do it by hand, and I like to leave just a very small white edge on there. If you don't like the little white edge, then I would say you stamp these on strips of paper and put them in, and then it will cut, it will punch, and it won't have the white edge. I kind of have gotten used to the white edge now, to the point where I like it. All right, and I should have done this off camera beforehand, but it doesn't take very long. But I could have done the magic of TV deal. And I didn't think of it. It took me a while to figure out what kind of card I wanted to make with you. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a fun fold, a really simple Z card, Z fold card. All right, and then we'll have a fun little thing. And we're going to use a couple different punches. And I just realized I forgot to get a green. Let's see, here we go. All right, so we're going to put this away, close it up. You want to make sure you store it closed. Be careful about dropping it though, because this little plastic thing right here this will break and then you are stuck with an open one. So make sure you close it like this, and then you keep it like that, and you can store them stacked. See, you can do this, you can stack them all up like that, and it makes it nice and easy. They show you right here what it is. I use, that you can see behind me, I use the Stampin' Storage things to store mine. I think that green's gonna be a little bit too bright. I have some green over here, but I think that green's gonna be a little too bright. Let me grab a more muted green, which is our old olive, and I'm going to actually use the bow punch. I'm not going to worry about the flowers, but I do want to get a couple of those. So you just punch them through, and then I usually just have something I stick that in because I might use it for something else. There we go. All right, and then we have these two punches, and I think I'm going to go with the hexagon, and I'm going to punch this piece of crumb cake like that, and I'm going to punch a piece of the boho blue. Boho blue was a very popular color, so I think it all sold out, but it goes with the paper I'm using, so I kind of had to use it. So the paper I'm using is from the Timeless Plaid. This is the DSP I'm using. You can see I've already started using this one, so it's double-sided. All right, and these are super fun. I love plaid. I have always loved plaid. In Arizona, it wasn't so cool to wear plaid. I did have one plaid shirt, but here in Montana, it's really cool to wear plaid, and everybody wears it. So I love it. So there you go. And then you have these on the back side. So lots of different plaids, super fun. All right, so I'm using a piece of pecan pie. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and 2 1/8, which is half of it. And then it's folded this way and back this way. And then we'll use our bone folder to make it crease better. All right, and then this one. All right, and then I am using this plaid, oops, these plaids. We're going to glue this one on here like this, and you could use the plaid embossing folder. I didn't want to have to get out the machine to show you that you don't have to have the machine, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine that I showed you the last couple days or yesterday. You don't have to have that machine to make fun, cute cards. All right, so that is just something you need to know and you need to be able to see. So we'll have this one, and then on the inside we're going to go ahead and put this side down. And again, a line is fine, a lake is a mistake. You don't want to use too much because then it oozes and gooshes out. And then you just have a big old mess. All right, so we're just centering it on here. There we go. And I like the green glue because you have some wiggle room there. And then we're going to put this one over here. All right. And I love the double-sided. Sometimes the double-sided is one of those tricky things where you're like, oh my gosh, what if I like all the sides and I don't want to use one, I don't want to cover one of those sides. Well, let's see, this goes this way because it's a continuation of this side. Yeah, sometimes that happens, and sometimes you just love both sides. So then you just get a second pack of paper. That's how you solve that. You get a second pack of paper. So this is, you can see here, this is where you get the Z fold from. All right, Z fold. But this way it matches up nicely. So we're going to stamp. I need use my scratch paper from yesterday. I'm going to stamp a little bit of a ground on this. I'm going to use the crumb cake on crumb cake. And we have here a little bit of ground. All right. And I'm just doing it, there we go. I don't want it super dark, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Oop, that didn't catch. There we go. And then like that. All right, there, that's what I was looking for. Here, see, the nice thing is you have two sides of the paper. So we're gonna stamp off and do this. And we're gonna stamp off. There we go. There. I just wanted a little bit of ground on there because that's where our mushrooms are gonna come from. All right. Here we go. Let's move that out of the way. So now we're going to build our little piece. We're not going to be using that. And we're going to be putting this kind of like that so that it shows through, but it's not bold and in your face. So we're going to use some dimensionals for this. Here we go. And I just want some skinny stuff here. So, whoops. Here we go. Like, oh, that got crooked. All right. Here we go. Okay, it's on there. Oh, before we do any more, I was also going to stamp these little ones in the background. You know, I don't think we're gonna need those actually. So they have the little ones with the little tops that would have been really cute, but since I'm using the crumb cake paper, I think we won't do that. So I'm gonna do that there. And then this one will have a dimensional on it right here. So what do you think? Do you think punches are easier? In a way, to me, they are, and yet on the other hand, they're not. There's still, you still have to do stuff, but you don't have, the nice thing is you don't have to have the machine to use them. And with the dies, you do have to have the machine to use them. So I'm just cutting these little pieces here to go along this strip up here. I don't think that other one will fit. There we go. And we'll do that one, and then we'll use a regular one. Took me a little bit. I had to look and see how other people were putting these mushrooms together because I wasn't quite sure how that worked. And so the stems go like that. All right, so this one is kind of sticking up. Oh, I see what I did. Gotta push that under. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put just a dab of glue under here to help make sure that it stays down. All right, like that. We're going to do that, but I think, let me see how I like this. I don't know, Missy, what do you think? Hi, Covina. Hi, Terry. Hi, Hope. Yes, I love the plaid paper. All right, I'm thinking having these like that. Yep. All right, so we're going to put a little bit of glue on these so we can stick them down. Like that. And then like this. All right, like that. And then we're going to put this one right here on top. So luckily we're covering up that. And I don't want to go all the way to the edge because I know some of it's going to be hanging off. So we're going to do it like that. All right, and I'm going to just turn it over to kind of press it down just to make sure that it works like that. All right, there we go. And then we're going to put it right here. So what we have to do though is we can't make the glue go all the way over. All right, so you only want to glue half of this like this, otherwise you're going to have a big old mess on both sides. All right, like that. All right, here we go. All right, and where is, all right, so I forgot to put a piece to write on. So this was 2 inches. So we want to go ahead and do, I'm going to do 1 7/8, and then I'm going to only make it 5 inches. So it's going to just be a small place where you can write a little message. You can always write on the back or stick a note in with it. You don't want to have too much, but you want to have a little bit to be able to, or, oh, you know what, no, I think I will just put it over there. All right, because you got to be able to write a message, right? And if you wanted, you could stamp on it. If you don't want to have to write too much of a message, you could just stamp on it. There we go. We want it hidden, right? We want it hidden, so it's hidden. And then the other thing I forgot was for the sentiment. And I forgot that punch. All right, so you'd think I'd be all ready. So this is the Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch, which means you can make it any thickness that you want, and you can have either the ticket end or the little scalloped end. I'm going to do the scalloped end. We're going to stamp this in the boho blue, and I picked the Poppin' By to Say Hi. All right. Here we go. Popping by to say hi. Well, I just realized I did that too close to the edge. What was I thinking? You need to do it in the middle. All right. Popping by to say hi. I love this font. Don't you love this font? Hi, Sharon. All right, let's do this. And normally I have the measurements, but I think it's 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch on down. So I think we'll go with 1 inch. And we're going to stick it in here. Yep, so it's 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch. You're going to put it all the way in like that. Punch it. Turn it around. Stick it all the way in till it's there. Punch it, and then look at those fun edges. All right, and then we're just going to put this over here like that. Actually, I'm going to do it a little more this way. Like that. So on this side of the card, whoops, that was a little too much glue. Got a little heavy-handed with that. Oh, wanted that up a little higher. There we go. All right, did I get it on that side? Nope, I didn't. Woohoo! All right, so that isn't pretty, but I think most people are going to open it like this. So then you don't have to worry about them doing that. And if they do, then they do, and they get to see it. All right, so here's your Poppin' Up to Say Hi. How cute is that? That turned out great. I am pleased, because that doesn't always happen. I have it in my head, and it doesn't always show up here. So, so this is using punches. So look how quick and easy. You don't need the machine. And remember, if this is a stamp set and punch bundle that you want, Stampin' Up! Now has a way for you to get an email when it gets back in stock. How awesome is that? Did you know that? Let me know. Did you know? Say didn't know or did know that you can get an email saying that things are back in stock now when they're out of stock. So, if you have any questions about any of it, please make sure to ask down below. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure to see you. This will be it for today. There's another post coming, but this will be it for the lives today. And then tomorrow, I haven't decided. It depends on how the day goes. The days just don't seem to be going the way I think they're going to go sometimes. So we shall see. But whatever the case may be, there will be some fun stuff. We're going to do a game tomorrow, so make sure you respond because tomorrow will be the last time for the game. And then, of course, if you didn't finish your tic-tac-toe from earlier in the week, make sure you finish the tic-tac-toe so I can send you a handmade card. And, of course, the more you comment, the more chances you get to win a stack of handmade cards, this being one of them. All right, and then the ones from yesterday. You did not know that, Sharon. Oh, I didn't say it at the last team meeting. I guess I'll have to remember to put that. Or maybe I learned about it after the team meeting. I'm not sure. I think it was in the updates though. So anyways, have a great rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you probably tomorrow, and I wish you the best. Bye-bye.